Hi, welcome to machine learning course. In machine learning course, we have so many things to explore, so many things to understand and so many things to deploy. So in this tutorial, the objective is we will understand first history of machine learning. We will understand the advantage and drawbacks of using machine learning. We will learn the concept of how machine do work, and also we will gain an insight on the basics of steps of machine learning. We will gain knowledge on the different types of machine learning approaches as well as. So, a reason to understand machine learning in data science is very obvious. For predictive modeling, machine learning have a lot of capability, and that is why we really have to understand this topic. So let's start with understanding why we require machine learning. We know computer do adopts a systematic approach called an algorithm. An algorithm is a proven sequence of steps that transform the input to output. When the input data is not well defined, the model or algorithm cannot be predefined. We build a system by making it learn from example like weather prediction, person identification based on biometric. So machine learning have an approach that can help us to make our algorithm learn as a human also do based on similar kind of problem. Let's talk about the motivation of machine learning and why we require machine learning in process to understand that how our algorithm design as we human also able to learn. So before I'll tell you the motivation of machine learning, let's understand why machine learning is called as machine learning. Now it will be a prompt question that first of all, what is learning in machine? What is learning? How we can define a learning? Let's think and try to understand. Learning is nothing but learning is updating or upgrading. Can we say this? What we are updating or upgrading, let's try to understand. Let's suppose while we do a task called T, in order to accomplish a task called T, so that we can update, we gain an experience called E, and after we gain an experience, when we test what we learn, that is also called as performance. We test our performance. P is called learning. Yes or not? Can we say that? Learning is updating or upgrading while doing a task called T, gaining an experience called E, and based on the performance we say that we learn something, right? So in order to learn from a similar kind of problem, so that we can recognize, so that we can understand more better anything, is called human learning. And when this kind of approach we give to machine is called machine learning. And machine is, when I say machine, how do we define machine? So machine is nothing but machine is any software, any algorithm that have a capability to work based on some certain logics, right? So the motivation of machine learning is, let's suppose we have to analyze the sentiment that whatever the text on social media, social webs is there, how we can understand, and based on how we can automate the complete process. So let's suppose we have this Facebook, Twitter, and different types of social websites, and we wanted to fetch all the information, so we prepare our data. So there are some certain sources or definition, blogs, website, social media accounts, and language selection. So the very first thing, in order to understand the sentiment of what is written there, so that we can understand which post need to be withdraw and which is not. We first retrieve a data through different APIs and web crawlers. We then do data pre-processing, that we prepare our data, we remove the unwanted stuff there, that is homogenization in the form of tuples, label world filtering. Then in the step 3 we do data processing level 2, in which we do linguistic processing, that is second level of filtering. And then we do topic detection, trend detection, like what are the words that is being used most, that is also called as clustering on a topic selection, which statistical monitoring, which statistical stuff we required, we use that. And then finally we apply our algorithm for sentiment analysis, that is extraction of aspects, some rule based deduction, training data set, and applying machine learning. And that is how we can also use like some visual analytics on our data, and we can come to a training model that can recognize whether this word has to be this post to be taken or which post has not to be taken. So that is why we required machine learning in the process, as we human also do. Now application is huge of machine learning, because we trying to automate everything based on our human intelligence, based as we able to a human can do that. So similarly, let's say if we have to give credits, a bank loan authentication, loan automation to give a customer loan. So credit analysis process we can create, that is for business and entity, how much need of loan required. So then there is approach of bank, then we analyze, and then we sanction. So this is the credit analysis process. So the same thing we can automate, and previously how it's happened, there is a sales call, order entity, credit report, check, approve team, and then credit issue analysis after talking to the customer, and then we review the credit. So that same thing we can do in a complete machine learning automation. As I said, machine learning is a kind of learning, or you can say that when we try to upgrade each and everything, whatever we have done, that's what in machine learning we do. So it's a core transformative way by which we are rethinking everything we are doing is called machine learning. Or machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence rather than being a simple database problem. It needs to learn from constantly changing environment. So in machine learning, there are different techniques for classifying the data, whether this is for a diagnosis perspective, we can use whether this is a benign or malignant cancer based on some certain images, categorization of images, whether to detect the palm detection, we can understand the signature verification, we can do the voice recognition, retina detection, fingerprint, face recognition, iris detection, thermology based on some certain image data sets, or fraud detection, and number plate, optical character recognition of a of a car based on images. And there are so many other examples we can take for their application perspective in machine learning. We can also do regression, as we have done classification based on similar kind of images, we can do regression. So as we're going to talk about regression, for just your idea, to make you understand regression, when we try to make some a statistical relationship between dependent and independent data, is called regression. Like you can see that there is some certain images of duck. So duck have capability of walk, swim, and quack. So this is the feature of duck. So based on the feature, can we recognize what are duck and what are not duck. So if it walks, swim quick like a duck, then it must be a duck. So this is what we can do in regression. Let's understand about the origin of machine learning. So somewhere in 1950, Alan Turing think up about Turing test, and from there the origin of machine learning started, or you can also say that in artificial intelligence same. So in 1951, SNRC is built at the first neural network machine, In 1956, the term artificial intelligence is being coined. Somewhere 1963, machine learning theory is expounded. 64, we have a USP program solve based on algebra problems. In 1965, chatbot Elijah is demonstrated. In 72, mycin diagnoses infectious blood disease when model has been created with the help of machine learning. In the 5 year of span from 75 to 80, there is a lot of contribution include of lack of computing power logic itself. It was a winter of AI because of so many other stuff didn't happen so much of thing due to the lack of processing power. And then in somewhere 1982, neural network theory gained its popularity. In 1991, when we start getting some processing power, US military use a DART logistic planning application. And in 1997, IBM Deep Blue beats world champion at chess by their algorithm. In somewhere 2000, we have AI-based algorithm begin to use in many vertical market. In 2005, introduction of web-based recommendation started, and in 2011, IBM Watson win a US game show, Jeopardy. Its launch of digital assistant Siri, Cortana, and now Google now. Somewhere in 2012, we got Google Brain recognized as a picture of a cat. 2014, Google Brain describe a scene in a picture. In 2015, AI generalized learned information across different environment. In 16, we got a DeepMind Alpha Go DNA beats the champion. And in 2017, when Google has made their library open source like TensorFlow and so many other library came for deep learning and machine learning, there's a huge possibility started, and the present. So this is what the origin of machine learning. There is a lot of timeline from 1940s to 2010. There are a lot of algorithms are there that we will be discussing one by one. Let's also discuss about the uses and abuses of machine learning. So machines are still relatively limited in their ability to thoroughly understand a problem. Machines have a pure intellectual horsepower without guidance. It's need a human intervention to motivate the analysis and turn the result into meaningful action. Machine learning is highly successful when it augments with the system rather than replacing the specialized knowledge of subject matter expert. Machine learning assists medical doctors at front of the fight to eradicate cancer, assists engineers and programmers to create smarter homes, automobile, and help social scientists build knowledge of how society function. It is employed in numerous business, scientific, laboratory, hospitals, and government organizations. Some machine learning algorithms are commonly employed among the organization which generate or aggregate data, make sense of it. We will be discussing about also how do machine learn. In order to tell you this, we can just a basic thing we can understand in order to this, that we require the data, then we make some abstraction or make some concept of it, we generalize, and then we evaluate. So in the next session, the topic will be discussing about how a machine algorithm do work and what are the different types of machine learning algorithm. Thank you.